So when you think about India's big tech hubs, what are the first names that pop into your head? Bengaluru, right? Hyderabad? Maybe Gurgaon? Well, what if I told you the next big chapter, the real game changer, isn't happening there at all? No, it's being written in a city that's about to become India's new strategic and economic nerve center. Let's dig in. You heard that right. Forget 'em. The old script is being torn up. There's a new powerhouse emerging, and it's coming from a place most people associate more with tea gardens and tourism than with tech. This is a story about geography, about geopolitics, and honestly, just massive, world-changing ambition. And look, this isn't some far-off fantasy. We're talking about right now. By the end of this year, a single factory near Guwahati is on track to export 48 million semiconductor chips. Just let that sink in. 48 million. That one fact alone signals a massive shift. I mean, this is turning a once overlooked corner of India into a serious global player. So how in the world did this happen? Well, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at why it's such an unexpected powerhouse. Then we'll dive into its past as a forgotten gateway. We'll touch on the China factor, and believe me, it's huge. After that, we'll see the insane infrastructure build-out, witness the $60 billion climax, and finally, look ahead to India's new eastern frontier. All right, kicking things off with a big claim. Guwahati as India's new California. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a bit of a stretch, right? But if you look at the one thing, the fundamental ingredient that made California a global titan, the parallel becomes shockingly clear. And no, it's not about gold rushes. It's all about geography. Think about it. Back in the 1800s, California was basically a forgotten frontier. But its location, right on the Pacific, made it the undeniable gateway between America and Asia. And what followed? Trade, talent, and tech. They were all pulled in like a magnet. Well, today, Guwahati is in the exact same spot. Only its ocean is the massive $3.6 trillion economy of Southeast Asia. But here's the thing. To really get why Guwahati's rise is so incredible, you have to understand its tragic past. For decades, the very geography that's now its biggest strength was actually its greatest weakness, a vulnerability famously known as the chicken's neck. I want you to really picture this for a second. After the partition of India in 1947, the entire Northeast region, home to 50 million people, was connected to the rest of the country by a tiny sliver of land, just 22 kilometers wide. That's it. And it's surrounded by international borders: Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, China. It was, without a doubt, a point of extreme strategic vulnerability. So this crazy geographic reality led to decades of isolation. I mean, investment just vanished. The region's best and brightest, they had to leave just to find opportunities. It was a part of the country that, in many ways, was simply forgotten. But a new geopolitical reality was about to change everything, and change it fast. So that's the big question, right? Why now? Why this sudden explosive focus on the Northeast? The answer really boils down to one word: China. A growing strategic threat basically turned the long-term goal of developing the region into a matter of urgent national security. You see, for the better part of a decade, China has been playing a very strategic game called the String of Pearls. What does that mean? Well, they've been funding and building a network of deep-water ports and military-friendly facilities in all the countries surrounding India, places like Myanmar, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan. It's essentially creating a ring of influence and encirclement. And the weakest link in that chain for India? You guessed it, that 22-kilometer chicken's neck. India realized pretty quickly it couldn't just sit back and play defense. It had to go on offense. The old Look East policy, which was all about economics, got a massive upgrade in 2014. It became the Act East policy, adding a crucial layer of defense and security. And the designated nerve center for this entire strategy? Guwahati. And acting is exactly what they did. To make this vision a reality, India unleashed an absolutely unprecedented infrastructure blitz. The goal was simple: physically rewire the entire region, connecting it not just to the rest of the country, but to the world. And we're talking about game-changing projects on a mind-boggling scale. You've got the Bogibeel Bridge, long enough and strong enough to carry military tanks. The Sela tunnel, built at 13,000 feet to guarantee all-weather access for troops and trade. And then there are these huge international corridors, like the Trilateral Highway and the Kalyan Project, that are literally paving the way from Guwahati straight to the markets of Southeast Asia. The numbers on the ground are just staggering. In less than a decade, the road network in Assam has nearly doubled. from 27,000 kilometers to over 51,000. This is the literal backbone of the new economy being built, piece by piece. And the money backing this up, just as dramatic. The central government's average yearly railway budget for the Northeast has jumped fivefold, a 5x increase compared to the previous period. This isn't just routine development. This is a full-scale strategic rewiring of an entire region. Okay, so all this new infrastructure laid the groundwork for the story's real climax. Because the ultimate proof, the irrefutable evidence of this transformation, is in the cold, hard cash and the big-name companies that are now placing massive bets on Guwahati's future. So why are they all rushing in? Well, for one huge reason, the math just works. I mean, compared to a traditional tech hub like Bangalore, setting up shop in Guwahati is ridiculously cheaper. The cost of living is over 30% less, and rent, get this, is 139% cheaper. For any company, that's not just an advantage, it's a total game changer. And that advantage is pulling in some serious capital. Tata Electronics is dropping 27,000 crore rupees on a massive semiconductor facility. At a recent investment summit, giants like Reliance and Adani pledged plans worth 50,000 crore rupees each. I mean, in just 2 days, the state pulled in investment proposals totaling almost 5 lakh crore rupees. It's unbelievable. But look, this isn't just about big corporations moving in. For this to be sustainable, you need homegrown talent. And that's where IIT Guwahati, one of India's best engineering schools, is stepping up. It's becoming the Stanford of the East. Its incubator has already launched over 80 startups, creating this self-sustaining pipeline of innovation and skilled people who no longer have to leave home to build their dreams. So, what does all of this add up to? It's a vision for a totally new reality. One where India's eastern frontier is no longer on the sidelines, but is a central engine for the entire nation's growth and strategic power. And this isn't just some abstract idea. The impact on people's lives is real, and it's happening now. In just the last 5 years, the per capita income in Assam has shot up by 123%. This development is directly translating into real prosperity for its people. The state's entire economy is just on fire. The estimated GDP growth rate for Assam is a staggering 19.5%. That's significantly higher than the national average, which is already impressive. The region isn't just catching up anymore. It's starting to lead the pack. And the ambition here is crystal clear. The target is to build a $143 billion economy in Assam by 2030. Think about that. A place that was once seen as a forgotten corner of the country is now a cornerstone of the national vision for developed India by 2047. So the city that was once defined by a 22-kilometer vulnerability is now building a golden gate to Southeast Asia. It's an incredible story of how geography can be completely rewritten by ambition and sheer necessity. So the next time you think of the global tech map, don't just look west, look east.